Welcome back to Rich for Purpose. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the GameStop thing, the Robinhood thing, the AMC of last week. I'm going to recap that a little bit, but then I'm going to get into what I think is going to go down next week and a couple of the indicators that I see popping off and a couple of red flags that I'm going to point out and how we can hedge our position against this event that might take place over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and how we can come out on top and make even more gains than we did during the GameStop thing. Because I think the market it has not priced this in, and I think there's a couple things that are going to unfold. So going back to next week, the whole GameStop thing that took off, I didn't want to make a video on GameStop. Someone asked me to talk about these things, and I didn't do it because again, I'm a long-term investor and I don't like to entice people into doing penny stocks or things like this where it's such high risk. And there is a lot of money to be made in bubbles, like I said before. It's just I don't want to to give to tell people like these are the trades I'm doing and then everyone piles in and then they could lose a lot of money. So that's why I didn't tell you guys what my trades were. However, um, so basically what I did is I got a couple credit spreads on TOT. There, I did not honestly. I got a 77 115 credit spread. I did not think it was gonna go that high. I would have made 20 more thousand if I just bought a naked call and didn't. I hedged my position, so it capped my limit to 3,800 on the GameStop, and then I got AMC calls and some BlackBerry calls, and I did pretty good last week. But when Robinhood halted trading and you could only sell your position, I was so mad at them. I was like furious. Like I thought they were bailing out their hedge fund buddies, and I was really mad about it. But after learning more about the system and the clearing firm and how the T+2 settlement works, I come to realize like it wasn't Robinhood that decided to do this to bail them out. They took on too much risk. They didn't have enough liquidity to cover this thing. And I know like in an interview I seen the CEO, they said, "You sounds like you have a liquidity problem." And he's like, "No, we don't have a liquidity problem because we fixed it." And it's like, "Well, you fixed it because you have a liquidity problem." And he wasn't really transparent in that. So I still do have a sour taste in my mouth with the Robinhood situation. It's just the risk I see unfolding from this is that I think the market didn't price in is a big opportunity here. So what I wanted to get into was on Friday, you've seen a lot of the market sell off. Um, you've seen, or Thursday and Friday, you've seen a lot of the market sell off, right? But then you've seen the bond yields going higher. So people were selling out of their bond positions. And that's another sign that there's a liquidity issue. And the problem is here is when volatility increases, when the VIX increases like that, everyone says, okay, we need to hedge our risk more. We need to protect ourselves a little better. And that piled on top of what's going on with GameStop, piled on top of the liquidity issue, it all seems to be brewing something that I think could potentially be like what we've seen, you know, like a market crash. I think that could be right around the corner. If not, I think it could unfold in the coming weeks. Um, so when a liquidity crisis happens, people start selling off their positions to get the money, right? And they could be selling off in other names because of the whole thing going on with GME. However, right now the entire market, it seems, a lot of the market is highly levered, highly in equities right now. So much of the market is. Hedge funds are, you know, for people with their 401ks, mutual funds, they're all so much in equities right now because of the current marketplace. Stocks are going up, and it seems like no one has hedged to the downside, or not what it should be hedging. in the current environment with the coronavirus and all this. So in a liquidity crisis, when we get a market crash, usually mutual funds or these long-term investors will come in and be able to stop it and buy the market back up. But if everyone's in equities right now and it crashes and they don't have the cash, I don't this could be really ugly. So what I want to get into is what play could we do to what position could we take to benefit off of this? And what am I going to do? And I believe that treasury yields people are going to sell off their bonds, and that could drive yields higher at the same time as the market's crashing. I could see that unfolding, and that's going to be the time to pile into calls on TLT or even buying up positions in TLT. And then when it finally happens, when yields drastically fall, I think that TLT trade is going to pay off a lot more than these GameStop plays, depending on how far it goes and if the Federal Reserve steps in and whatnot. And we did this play in the coronavirus. When this all happened, that TLT trade is what saved my account. It literally saved it. I made 20 grand on that off of $200, and and bought equities with it. And when it rose up, my account went up with it too. So the way I'm positioning myself is I'm gonna buy some calls on TLT, and then I'm gonna de-lever a lot of risk that I have. I'm getting rid of a lot of risky speculative positions that I have. I'm probably gonna keep 1 foot in on some of the meme stocks like the GameStop, AMC, and BlackBerry. Maybe a tiny bit of risk in that. How I do it, no more than 1% of my portfolio is going to be in that. But I'm definitely hedging my position. And I mean TLT for a couple months out. And then puts. I'm going to be loading up on puts come Monday. And then getting rid of a lot of long speculation plays that I'm in. I think a liquidity crisis is coming. I think that the market is highly levered to the upside with not a lot of hedge to the downside. So I think Monday's going to come and a lot of people are going to realize this and they're going to start hedging to the downside. And the scary part about this is when they hedge to the downside, especially with put options, then the market makers are going to have to take that into account and hedge in the downside. And then it could be a like GameStop with a compounding effect rolling up. This could be a compounding effect rolling down, and it could be bad for the broader market, not just with. And then when the whole market comes down, and it could scare a lot of people out of the GME play, and then that could unfold too. And essentially, I mean, I understand everyone in Wall Street Bets wants to stick it to the man, and it's fun to be a part of this. It's just and I don't think anyone there is going to come together and logically think this through, that what you could possibly do is risk people's 401ks and risk the entire market structure. And I just don't think people are going to, I think they want to take this whole thing down, to be honest. So I'm going to hedge against these positions, and I'm going, and so what? And say this doesn't happen, say there is no liquidity crisis, say the Fed steps in and pours more money into the system and everything is fine, then so what? At least I hedged my position, and at least I had protection of the downside. And say those tickets never print and nothing comes through, then it's okay. Then the rest of my long positions are safe. And then the little amount of risk that I am taking has paid off for me. So that's just what I'm going to do next week. That's what I see coming. And I think that we should prepare to hedge our positions to the downside. TLT puts, TLT calls for the long term, couple months out. And then I think we should hedge with short term puts for the downside. That's all I'm saying. I know this wasn't a fancy video. I don't have all them nice little slides for you guys. I just had to get that message out there for you. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll try and make more content for you guys. I know I've been slacking on that, but I'm going to step it up for you guys. So thank you for supporting me, and God bless you.